Hi friends, welcome back. This is Mrs. Maldonado. So I have prepared another guided reading lesson for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So for today, boys and girls, I have a tale from Brazil titled How Beetle Got Her Coat. And if you see, I have some pictures, some photographs here of some beautiful beetles. And as you can see, they are very colorful. Okay, and this tale, How Beetle Got Her Coat, is by Macmillan McGraw-Hill, and it's illustrated by Bob Barner. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. How Beetle Got Her Coat, a tale from Brazil. Have you ever seen a beetle? What was it like? Do you think a beetle could beat a rat in a race? Why or why not? A long time ago, when Beetle first lived in the Amazon rainforest, she had a plain brown coat. In this same rainforest lived Rat. He was not a nice neighbor. He made a habit of making fun of all the other small animals and insects, especially Beetle. One day, Rat spied Beetle walking down a dirt path. Well, look who's here, Rat said, laughing. You are so plain looking that you blend in with the dirt. Why, I almost stepped on you. Beetle just looked ahead and did not say anything. Rat continued to tease. Of all the animals in the forest, you are the ugliest and the plainest. I would run and hide if I were you. Well, boys and girls, it seems like Rat is not being a nice friend to the beetle, right? So, in this same page I have for you on the screen, I have a vocabulary word, and this vocabulary word was in the text that I just read, and that vocabulary word is blend. So, blend means to combine things so that they become one thing. Okay, and it was used here in the text in the story. It said, and it was Rat. He was talking to Beetle, and we can see the dialogue here, and we know that it's dialogue because we have quotation marks, boys and girls. Okay, so the quotation marks is what somebody is saying. Okay, it says, you are so plain looking that you blend in with the dirt. Okay, it says, why? I almost stepped on you. Okay, so that's what Rat was telling Beetle. Okay, so and we also see that this word blend, okay, it's also shaded to kind of stand out. Okay, now our first question is the question here in blue. Why does Rat tease Beetle? Okay, why is Rat teasing Beetle? Well, we know that Rat was not being kind to Beetle, and it was the Rat was teasing Beetle because he was telling Beetle that the Beetle was plain looking, right? If we look right here, I'm gonna underline, you are so plain looking that you blend in with the dirt. Okay, so that's what Rat is doing to tease Beetle. Now the other question is, what words does Rat use to describe Beetle? So we already know that it was plain looking. Okay, so plain looking means that there's no characteristics to it. It's just one solid color. Okay, so but we're gonna wait and see what happens here in this tale from Brazil, how Beetle got her coat. So let's move on to our next page. Okay, and I am gonna read it for you, or we can read it together. It says, day after day, the teasing went on. Day after day, Parrot sat perched in a high tree above the rainforest floor and listened to the teasing. Parrot was old and wise and finally had heard enough. Rat, said Parrot, do you know that you have a rather dull coat yourself? Your coat is a plain gray color. It's not bright and colorful like my feathers. So what do you have to brag about? I may be gray, but I'm beautiful, and I'm certainly smarter and faster than any little beetle, Rat said. Prove it, said Parrot. Why don't you and Beetle have a race? Whoever wins can have a new coat. Any coat or any coat he or she chooses. Now Rat's strong legs made him extremely swift, and he was confident that could easily run out Beetle. There is hardly any point in such a contest, he said, since we all know who will win. But I could probably use the exercise. I would like to race, said Beetle softly. Okay, boys and girls, and in this slide or in this page, we have two vocabulary words. The first vocabulary word that we have here is dull. Whoops. Let me go back to my page here. The first vocabulary word that we have is dull. Okay, and dull means when dull describes a color, it means the color is not bright. So when Parrot was describing the rat, Parrot was telling Rat that his color was dull. It was not the color, he was not, did not have a bright color. Okay, and the other, and we see it right here, I'm going to underline the sentence. Do you know that you have a rather dull coat yourself? Okay, it says your coat is a plain gray color. It is not bright and colorful like my feathers. Okay, so if we look and we compare and contrast, okay, what's the same and what's different? If we look at Parrot, we see Parrot and he's got these bright, colorful colors in his feathers. And then we look at Rat and we see that Rat is just a dull gray color. He is not colorful. Okay, now let's look at our other vocabulary word, swift. Okay, and swift is when something can move very quickly. Okay, so now I am going to underline the sentence that has the word swift in it. And it says, now Rat's strong legs made him extremely swift, and he was confident that could easily outrun Beetle. So that means that Rat knew that he could outrun Beetle because he could move pretty swiftly. He could move pretty fast, right? Very quickly. Okay, so let's look at our first question. What does Parrot suggest that Rat and Beetle do? What did Parrot tell Rat? What should they do? He told them, that's right, he said that they should have a race. And we have it right here. I am going to circle it. It says, why don't you and Beetle have a race? And then the other question is, how does Rat feel about the race? Well, when we were reviewing the vocabulary word swift, we know that Rat felt pretty confident, okay? And here is that word confident. That means that he was sure that he could win the race because he was swift. He could move very quickly. Okay, so let's move on and see what else is happening in this story. Parrot set down the rules. Beetle and Rat, you will race from this tree to the waterfall. So if we see the illustration there, we see the waterfall where the water is falling down, okay, towards the right side of that illustration. Rat looked over at Beetle and teased her one more time. I'll bet you wish you could run fast like me, he bragged. Beetle just looked ahead and didn't say anything. Then Parrot gave the signal and the race began. Off Rat ran Rat as fast as four legs could carry him. At one point, he looked back to see where Beetle was, but she was nowhere to be seen. Ho, ho, silly Beetle, laughed Rat. That Beetle is so far behind, she'll never catch up with me. I can't wait to see myself with my new coat. When Rat reached the waterfall, he was in for a big surprise. There was Beetle sitting on a rock waiting for him. How did you beat me, you dull little creature? Asked Rat. I flew, said Beetle, feeling very proud of herself. You flew? Yelled Rat. I didn't know you could fly. Then the wise old parrot said, Yes, Rat, you didn't know about a special feature that beetles have. Wings. So there is our other vocabulary word, boys and girls. It's the word feature. And feature is a special or important part of something. So in this case, the feature that we were referring to is the wings, right? Because it said the parrot was talking to um, Rat, and we know that it was parrot talking, right? Because it says parrot said. You see that word there, said. Okay, so that's our signal word saying that, letting us know that it's parrot that was talking. And then remember the quotation marks, boys and girls? That's the dialogue or what one person is saying to someone else, okay? So when we see quotation marks, the first set of quotation marks is where the person or the character starts talking, and the other set of quotation marks is where the character stops talking. Okay, so the character was saying, Yes, Rat, you didn't know about a special feature that beetles have wings. So he's letting Rat know that because of the wings, because of that feature, that's how Beetle got ahead of Rat. Okay, so that brings us back to our question. It's who wins the race, Rat or Beetle? Well, we know that here's Beetle. All right, he's already there at the finish line, and we already talked about why he won the race, because of the special feature. And what was the special feature, boys and girls? Who remembers? That's right. It was because of the wings. It was because of Beetle's wings. He didn't have to walk, okay? Because we know that if he would have walked, he would have been pretty slow, okay? We know that Rat was moved pretty swiftly, right? He could move quicker than Beetle if he was to walk. But Beetle used his wings. He used his special feature, and he was able to win the race. So I'm going to read the next one, the next page. See how my wings flutter? Asked Beetle as she moved her wings up and down for Rat to see. Parrot flew down to teach Rat one last lesson. From now on, don't judge other animals by the way they look. Just because a creature is plain looking does not mean it isn't special. Even small, plain animals may have special talents. Rat scurried off into the forest, grumbling as he went. Now it was time for Beetle to choose her new colors. I choose 3 colors for my new coat, she said. I choose gold for the sun, blue for the sky, and green for the plants in the forest. The colors also make me think of you, Parrot. That is why today beetles wear a colorful coat of gold, blue, and green, and wild rats are a dull gray color. Okay, so our vocabulary word for this page, boys and girls, is flutter. Okay, and flutter means to move or fly with quick movements. Okay, so we see that vocabulary word here in the sentence, and it's asked in a question form, and we know that it was Beetle that's asking that question. okay, because it says our signal word is asked, and then we know that it's Beetle talking in the dialogue because we see the quotation marks. Remember, when there's quotation marks, that's when a character is talking or saying something. So Beetle asked, "See how my wings flutter?" And then it says that Beetle moved her wings up and down for Rat to see. Okay, so that is our vocabulary word, boys and girls. Now, our question is, what lesson does Parrot teach Rat? Okay, so we know that it says it's telling us here in the story, in the text, that Parrot flew down to teach Rat one last lesson. Okay, it says, from now on, don't judge other animals by the way they look. Just because a creature is plain looking does not mean it isn't special. Even small, plain animals may have special talents. Just like the special talent that Beetle had of flying, his special feature, right? Even though Rat was confident that he was going to win, he did not win. So that's another lesson that Parrot taught Rat. All right, boys and girls. So that is the end of our tale from Brazil. Okay, so let's move now to our vocabulary meaning match. Okay, and in the top, boys and girls, I have another picture of a beetle. And if you can see, it's a shiny green color. And it kind of seems like it has a little hint of gold as well. And if you can compare and contrast, see the colors. See how the rat is dull? It's a dull gray color. And look how beautiful, the beautiful color that the beetle has. Okay, boys and girls, so let's review our vocabulary words. Here in the word bank, we have feature, swift, blend, flutter, and dull. So what you can do, boys and girls, if you want to join me for this activity, you can go ahead and get something to write with and something to write on. Piece of paper, maybe a pencil, crayon, if you have a dry erase board, a marker, whatever you want to use is perfect. And you can just write numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I am going to do is I am going to write our vocabulary word. We're going to match them with the definition. Okay, so if you find them before I do, go ahead and write them in, and then you can revise your knowledge as we go if you need to make any changes. Or if you have it correct, that's awesome. That means that you've already learned your vocabulary word. Okay. All right, boys and girls. So for number 1, I am going to read the definition for number 1. It says to combine things so that they become one thing. What is that vocabulary word that means to combine things so they become one thing? Just to kind of refresh your memory, remember that Rat was telling the beetle that she blended into the dirt. Whoops, I just told you the answer. That she looked like the dirt, so that word would be blend. That to combine things so that they become one thing. Blend. Whoops. Let me go back to my page here. My pencil is very sensitive. Okay, so I am going to write the word blend for number 1, and I am going to cross it out right there, boys and girls, because I'm already using that vocabulary word, and I'm only going to use it once, so that means I will not use that. That will not fit in another for another definition. Okay, so for number 2, a special or important part of something. A special or important part of something. So I am going to give you another clue. That was something that Beetle had. Okay, it was something that Beetle had that helped Beetle win the race. What was that? It was a special what? A special or important part of something. That's it. Feature. That's the word feature. Okay, so I am going to write the word feature there. That's our vocabulary word for number 2. All right, so let's go to number 3. To move or fly with quick movements. Okay, so Beetle was showing how her wings what? How they what? And another insect, boys and girls, that reminds me of this is a butterfly, of this vocabulary word. To move or fly with quick movements. Flutter, very good. Flutter. 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 Okay. So for number 4, when describing a color, it means the color is not bright. So the rat is what? The rat is what? What color is the rat? It was the parrot referred to the rat as having this type of color. It was dull. Very good. D U L L. It was dull. Okay, so number 5. When something can move very quickly. When something can move very quickly, it is swift. Okay, SWIFT. Okay, so those are the vocabulary words that we learned within our story of the tale in Brazil, how Beetle got her coat. Okay, so let's go. Now we have a vocabulary fill in the sentence. And boys and girls, you can see another beautiful beetle at the top. Look at all those colors, boys and girls. It's you see a gold color, a hint of green. It's beautiful. Those beetles have a beautiful color coat. Okay, so and then we look at rat and we see that rat has a dull color coat, right? And if we look at parrot here at the bottom, we see that parrots are also very colorful. All right, boys and girls, so number 1, okay? You can read number 1 with me. Whoops. Okay, let's try this again. I apologize. My pencil or my pen is very sensitive with the screen. Okay, so number 1, all human beings share certain blank, such as eyes, ears, nose, and a mouth. So all human beings share certain what? So let's look at our word bank, and we have feature, swift, blend, flutter, and dull. Okay, so you are right. It is feature. All human beings share certain feature. Okay. I'm going to add an S. Certain features such as eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Okay. Number 2. I thought and I'll cross that out. I thought our house should be painted a bright yellow, but my parents chose a blank tan. Remember the color of rat, and that they referred to rat as having this type of color. What was that? It's a short word. That's right, is a dual. Okay, a dual tan. That means that it's not bright and colorful like the beetle and the parrot that we see here. All right, number 3. Butterflies blank in my flower garden all day long. What do butterflies do, boys and girls? They what? And something that beetle also did. Very good. That is, whoops, I'm so sorry. I have to go back. I apologize. I was reading number 4. We have to go back to number 3. I am sorry. Number 3. A green lizard blank in with the leaves so that you can't even see it. That was something that beetle did with the dirt, boys and girls. Remember, what is that vocabulary word that rat used? It says a green lizard blank in with the leaves so that you can't even see it. That's right. That is blend. Blend. That is something that beetle did with the dirt. Remember, rat said that the beetle blended in with the dirt, that he almost stepped on it. All right, so now it's not our turn for number 4. Okay, butterflies blank in my flower garden all day long. What is that butterflies do? That's right, flutter. And like I said, that is also something that we learned that beetles do. Okay. Okay, flutter. Butterflies flutter in my flower garden all day long. All right, so number 5. The cowboy rode his blank horse. So we only have one vocabulary word left, boys and girls. And the cowboy rode his, and it has to be something that's fast. So it's got to be swift. So swift is another word for fast or quick. All right, boys and girls, you did an amazing job with those vocabulary words. Now, these are questions that you can answer later on your own. I am going to help you read them for now. Okay? And also, boys and girls, remember that when you are answering a question in your sentence, remember you start your sentence with an uppercase letter. Remember to leave finger spaces in between your words. And remember to end your sentence with a period at the end when you are answering a question. All right, so for number 1, how do other animals blend in with their surroundings? So we see a photograph here of a squirrel blending in with the bark of the tree. Okay. And number 2, what features do all snakes have? What special things or what do snakes have? What features do all snakes have? Okay, number 3. Describe the clothing you are wearing. Which colors are bright and which are dull? So we see some children here wearing the clothes that they're wearing. Some colors are bright and some colors are dull. Okay, so some colors are bright like the parrot and the beetle at the end of our story, and some are dull like the rat. All right, boys and girls, so you did an amazing job with that. Let's go ahead and move on to our next segment here, Sight Word Scrabble with Mrs. Maldonado. So now, boys and girls, we get to sharpen our saw. That means to have fun, okay? Have some more fun, that is. So now what we're going to do is we have 4 letters to put together to make a sight word. Okay, we will use the 2 bottom rows to help us figure out the mix-up letters that make up the sight words on the top 2 rows. Okay, so let's have some sight word fun. All right, so what we're going to do is I am going to look at the first group of letters. So I'm going to look for a sight word that has all of these letters. N-O-E-D. N-O-E-D. So if I look at this word, this does not have an N. Oh, but this one does. It also has an O, it also has an E, and it also has a D. So I am going to circle it with my pen here. And I am going to write that sight word right underneath and see if I use all of those letters. D, O, N, and then I have the E. All right, so there we go. We have that word and that word is done. All right, so let's look for the next sight word. It's a sight word that has a E, G, N, O. E, G, N, O. All right, so this one has an E but does not have a G. This one does not have a E. This one has an E, does not have a G. Well, this one has a E, also has a G, a N, and an E. So I am going to circle this one. Okay, then I am going to write it underneath. Cross out the letters as I am using them. Okay, the N and then the E. All right. Next we have A, D, and H. Okay, I do not have an A there. No A here, no A here. Here's an A. Here's a D. Does not have an N. I have an A here, a D, an N, and an H. So it must be this one. So it's H, A, N, and finally a D. Okay, and that sight word is hand. Okay, so let's look at our next group of letters. L-D-O-H. We do not have an L, no L there, no L here, no L there, no L here. Well, we have an L here. We also have a D, we have an O, and we have an H. So I am going to circle that. H, cross it out. O, cross it out. L, cross it out. And finally, we have a D, and I am going to cross that out. That sight word is hold. Hold. Okay, our last group of letters here in this first top row, M-O-H-E. Okay, I have an M, I have an O, I have an H, and I have an E. On our first try, boys and girls, all right, so I am going to circle it, H, and then we have an O, then we have an M, and finally we have an E. Okay, H-O-M-E. All right, then we go to the bottom set, the bottom row, okay, of group of letters. Okay, and the first one we have on the first group, we have P-O-P-E-O-H. This one does not have a P, this one has a P, E, a O, and a H. So I am going to circle that. Okay, my first letter is going to be a H. Next one is going to be an O. Then we have a P. And finally, we have an E. So that sight word is hope. Hope. Okay, next we have E-P-E-K. No E's here. No E's here. We have an E here. We have a P. We have another E because it has two E's. And then we also have a P. So it must be this sight word. Okay. K, E, two E's, and then we have the P. Keep, keep. Okay, next we have K-D-I-N. K-D-I-N. Okay, so I see a K here. I also see a D, a I, and an N. So I am going to circle that. K-I, K-I, N, and then a D. That sight word, boys and girls, is kind. Kind. Okay, next we have Y-B-B-A. Okay, we do not have a Y here, a B, or an A, but we do have all of those letters here. So I am going to circle it, and we're going to write it correctly and cross off the letters as I am writing them to make sure that I am using all of those letters and I am putting them in the right order. That sight word is baby. Okay, so our last one must be the one that's left over. Okay, we have a R, a D, an A, and an H. Okay, and it's H, A, R, and finally we have D. And that sight word, boys and girls, is hard. All right, so let's review our sight words. We're only going to read the bottom ones that are circled, the red sight words that are circled. Okay, so repeat after me, or you can read them along with me. Home, home. Kind, kind. Gone, gone. Hand, hand. Baby, baby. Done, done. Hope, hope. Hard, hard. Keep, keep. Hold, hold. Excellent job, boys and girls. Kiss your brain. It has been working extremely hard. You are doing a fabulous job. Okay, so now we are moving right along for our math time lesson that I have prepared for you. Okay, so we are going to be learning about, let's see what we have. Okay, we have subtraction here, boys and girls. And for subtraction, we also use another fancy word that is, That is difference, okay? So difference, when you see the word difference, that is a clue to let us know that we are most likely going to be subtracting. Okay, and there are several ways that we can do this, okay, to prove our work or to show our work. Okay, so first of all, we can use a number line. Okay, I am going to start with the end. Okay, so I am going to put the greater number at the end, and then I am going to move back 10 spaces. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is going to be my answer. Now I am going to be counting backwards because I am moving backwards, okay? 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so my answer is going to be 5. Now, I can also move forward, okay, to solve this answer. So I would have to do the opposite operation, which I am subtracting. I would have to add, okay? So if I am adding, we are going to be moving forward. So I am going to start with 10, okay? And I'm going to keep moving until I get to 15. Okay, so help me count. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, 14, and then we have our answer that we are looking for, that is 15. So let's count and see how many spaces we moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We still have the same answer, right? Okay, so another thing that we can do, boys and girls, remember our 10s and our 1s? These are our 10s and these are our 1s. Okay, so we have 15. We need 1 10 and we need to have 5 1s. Okay, so that's also just to help us with our, just to double check our work. Okay, so there's different ways that you can solve this. Or if you know we have 10, we can count on like we did here, okay? Or we can count backwards. All right, so let's move on with the next one. What is the difference? Again, we have 10 already. Let's count on, okay? We're going to start with 10. We're going to do the opposite operation. So instead of subtracting, we're going to add because we want to see how many more we need to get to 18. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so this is my answer. Okay, I am just going to write the numbers down here just so you can see the spaces that we moved. And now we're going to count and see how many spaces we actually moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we moved 8 spaces. Okay, so the difference would be 8. All right. Also, boys and girls, if we had a hundreds chart, we know that if we were 18, when we're subtracting, we're moving up. So that would be the number right above 18. All right, so let's go to the next one. What is the difference? 16 take away 10. Okay, so if we're taking away, remember we are going to be moving backwards, okay? So we're going to move backwards 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that's my answer. Then that means that I have to count backwards. Okay, this is just the opposite of what we were doing right now because I want to make sure that you know different ways of solving this answer because boys and girls, not all of us, not all of the techniques work for the same person. Some of us prefer to count forward. Some of us prefer to count backwards. or some of us just have other techniques that work better for us, okay? So that's why I'm using different ones. Okay, so now remember, if we are going to count on, we're going to use 10 and we're going to keep counting on. So we're going to count on. That means we're adding. We need to see how many more do we need to get to 16 to find our answer for the difference. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 16. So that's our answer. Let's see how many spaces we moved. Okay, and our answer is 6. So either way, boys and girls, whether we moved forward or backwards in the number line, we still got the same answer. Okay, it's just a matter of what works best for you. Okay, and we're going to see that there's different ways that we can use, that we can solve our answer. Okay, again, 12 take away 10. Okay, I have 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that's going to be my answer. So remember, if we're moving backwards, when we subtract, we move backwards. Okay, the numbers are going to get smaller. Okay, so 11, it's kind of like we're going to count down. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. So our answer is 2. Now, we are going to count on. Okay, so when we're counting on, the numbers are getting bigger. So that means we're moving forward. Okay, so we have 10. We're going to see how many more spaces do we need to move to get to 12. 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's 1, 2. So either way, we got a 2. All right, so now we have a word problem here, boys and girls. It says of the 12, whoops, let's go back. Sorry about that. We are right here. Yes. Okay, it says of the 12 girls in class, 10 were present on Tuesday. How many girls were absent? Okay, so we are going to subtract. Okay, so we're going to write our equation. 12 take away 10 equals what? The same thing. Okay, we actually just solved that problem. We have 12, okay, and then we're going to move back 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's my answer. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. And if we are moving forward, okay, remember we're subtracting 10, 11, and 12. That means we moved only 2. So how many girls were absent? Well, it was only 2 girls that were absent. Okay, Andrea has 11 blueberries. If she eats 10, how many are left? Okay, so she has 11 and then she eats 10. So are we going to be having more or are we going to be having less? Because remember, we have to read it carefully so we know exactly what operation we're going to be using, whether we're going to be adding or subtracting. But if she eats them, that means that she's having less. Okay, so what we're going to do, boys and girls, is we are going to count. We're going to count. First, we're going to count backwards. Okay, well, I'm going to write my equation. 11 take away 10 equals, whoops, I wrote the answer as well. So let's just double check our work. Okay, we have 11. And then remember, we are also going to move backwards. Okay, so we have 11 right here. Okay, 11, whoops, 11, and this could be 10. So how many did we go? Just 1. Okay. Whoops, that's, okay, 11, take away 10. Okay, that's 11, we move 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is our answer. Okay, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So those are the 10 spaces that we move backwards, boys and girls. So let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, remember we are counting on. Okay, and all we need to do is just 1 because the next number is 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and check. So our answer is 1. We double checked either moving backwards and moving forward. Okay, so we have another word problem here. It says Juan uses 10 stamps to mail cards. If 4 stamps remain, how many did Juan have at the beginning? Okay, so that means he uses 10, but we have to figure out how many stamps he has in all, boys and girls. So if we're going to be combining numbers, that means that we are going to be using an addition problem, okay, an addition sign. Our operation is going to be addition. 10 plus 4 equals what? Okay, so we could do this different ways as well. Okay, we can have the 10, okay, our number line, we can count forward. Remember, when we are adding, we are moving forward. How many steps or spaces are we moving forward? 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's going to be our answer. 11, 12, 13, and 14. And here are the spaces that we moved, okay? So our answer is 14. Now we could also have a tens frame, okay? And remember, when we draw a tens frame, there's 4 lines that we draw in the center of our tens frame to make it a tens frame. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have our tens frame there. Okay, and then we add 10 more. That's the same thing as kind of like the number line. We have 10 and then we have 4 more. Okay, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Our answer is 14. We get the same answer. Okay, Karina has worn braces for 10 months. She has 9 more months to go. In total, how many months will Karina wear braces? Okay, so that means that we are combining them because it says in total. So we have to put the numbers together. Will we add or will we subtract? That's right, we're going to add because we're combining. We're getting all the total. Okay, so 10 plus 9 equals what? Okay, so we have 10 here. We are going to move how many steps forward? That's right, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that's going to be our answer. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, and another way, boys and girls, that you can do, another thing that you can do is when you look at your equation, you look at the greater number. Which number is greater? Which number is bigger? Is it the 10 or the 9? Okay, you see that it is 10, right? So what you can do, if the other number that you're adding is 10 or less, you can use your fingers. So what we could do is we're going to put 10 in our head. Okay, and then we have 9 in our hands here. So we have 10, and then we count on. Just like what we did in our number line. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. We got the same answer, 19. Okay, so you can count on, put the bigger number in your head, and then you can count on using your fingers if it's 10 or less. Okay, so now it is going to be your turn to log into MobyMax. All right, so what you're going to do, boys and girls, is you are going to go on to www.mobymax.com. Okay, so what you're going to do is once you log into that, you're going to go and you're going to click on this orange sign in square rectangle there with the blue arrow. Go ahead and click on that. That's going to be step number 1. Okay, once you click on that, you are going to see what you see on screen here, on the screen here on step number 2. Make sure that you are logged in as a student. You are going to type in Guadalupe Center right here. Okay, you are going to type in Guadalupe Center. Okay, it's Guadalupe, then you're going to leave a finger space and then center. If you do not know how to spell Guadalupe Center, you can look at step number 3. Okay, I have Guadalupe Center here. You can just copy it from there. You can pause your device and go ahead and copy it from there. Okay, once you hit Guadalupe Center, going back to number 2, once you type Guadalupe Center, then you are going to click on this fine little rectangle there, on that little square rectangle. Click on that. Then Guadalupe Center, once you typed in Guadalupe Center, then you are going to see that Guadalupe Center is going to come up on its own. Click on that. Okay, once you click on that, we're going to go to step number 4. Okay, in step number 4, you're going to see what you see here. Okay, make sure you see Guadalupe Center on here as your school. Make sure you are in as a student. You are going to add your lunch number for your username and also for your password. Okay, and then you are going to click sign in. Once you click sign in, if you do not if you see these books, this icon of books, click on that. Okay, you are going to see your name right here. Okay, that's someone else's name, but you are going to see your name when you log in as you. Okay, and then you are going to click on those books, and then you're going to go to step number 6. In step number 6, you are going to click on this green box that says math underneath it. Okay, with the numbers on it, you're going to click on that. And now you are ready to get started with your very own math lesson. All right, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed my video. And until next time, bye.